So I just want to say thank you for being here today. I'm sure napaka-hectic ng schedule. I know na talagang may gigawa ka last night and early Saturday morning. Hassle talaga ako business owner. So just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you for this opportunity.
No worries at all. So I just want to start with background nyo before you started your business. Can you tell us a little bit about yung history?
Well, di naman ako talaga lawyer kagad. So I started with, I finished computer engineering in the Philippines because I thought, yung panahon na ang mga IT people, di ba? Well, until now, it's a high-paying job anyway. But ito yung panahon na hot ang mga IT courses, right? And it's even hard to get in universities. So I thought I'm very good at that. Computers, maths, so kaya engineering, computer engineering.
Okay.
But found out that I wasn't. So syempre nasa State University ako and just applying for that course, ang dami nakapila and top 300 lang kinuha. So you would expect na ang mga classmates ko ay mga valedictorian ng high school, right? So, okay naman ako on the math side, pero engineering maths is very difficult compared to the usual maths. And also, maths with directions, I'm very bad at directions. Talagang mahirap yun sa akin. And yun nga, dahil na computer engineering, makukumpuni ka ng computer, ganyan, I don't like that. Hindi talaga.
And I'm guessing yung general na yun is male-dominated. Or is it? Or
it was, but I think there were many female then in my class. And they were really good.
This was back in the Philippines? Or?
In the Philippines, oo. Ang gagaling ng mga classmate ko na yan na talagang, sila yung mga nakarating din dito as, mga programmers, kanyan. It's just that, na-advise na ako during high school ng careers advisor. That, usually mag-nurse, di ba?
Yes, halfway naman natin, it's either nurse
or mass communication, ganyan. Because I'm always good in communicating with people, like connecting with people. So itong si careers advisor ko, hindi bagay sa'yo.
Hindi doesn't make sense.
And I was like, syempre, may mga ideas tayo sa buhay natin. And I was like, no, this fits me. I'm very good with maths. I'm very good with computers. Tsaka syempre, yun palagi yung, I think, it's the thinking that it's your way out of the country.
Yes.
Diba?
At that time,
diba? Ang IT talagang lumalabas.
Nursing.
Yes. Or, even if you stay in the country, basta nasa IT ka, high-paying job ka.
Yeah.
So, I think I didn't have that in
yung
to get out of
safest.
the country. Yun lang na, high-paying job. Sige. Yeah, so yun ang simula, but then, didn't work out. I still finished it. It didn't work out for me. I realized that I need to connect to people, to talk to people. So one of my classmates went into this IT firm, and I think he's being trained as a programmer. And then he said that, we need salespeople. Marketing people. And I said, okay, I'd like that. So that was my first job. Naging sa sales and marketing ako ng IT products. So product management, in which I was still able to use my IT knowledge. Kasi sa technical, di ba?
Yes, and I think it's important as well. Like, pag minamarket mo yung product.
Dapat alam mo.
Exactly.
Correct. Hindi naman ako yung just finish marketing and then trying to sell IT products.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So I understand it. And the clients are yung mga IT people. So I switch between technical, being not as technical as the engineers, right? But I understand how it works. Or talagang yung business sense lang. Kasi di ba, as a salesperson, you talk to the CEOs, CTOs, or sometimes you talk to the engineers themselves first.
Yes. And the thing too, that makes sense because yung personality nyo, it translate doon sa may kailangan. For example, na yung engineer, hindi naman lahat kaya mag-communicate na maayos. And then yung mga marketing naman, hindi nila alam yung product in and out. So I think you've got the best.
Yes. So it has really helped me in my career in sales and marketing in the IT products. Yun talagang trabaho ng matagal. And, kasi yung thinking, dapat technical ka para mataas ang sweldo mo sa IT. But no, as a salesperson, as a marketer, you're also high paid.
Yes.
Kasi nandun ka sa industriya nila eh.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you get commissions dun sa may ano?
Oo, malaki ang commissions talaga. Like, Like, I remembered, alam mo yung uso yung Honda Jazz?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That was our first car. And, through the commissions, I can pay for it, yung mga, di ba, yung terms. But then there was one, I don't know, like, very huge commission that I can pay for the whole car and another one. Alam mo yun, parang, ganun pala. Oo. Pero, syempre, stressful ang sales.
Yeah.
We get measured all the time.
Yes, KPIs.
Yes. So, talagang we have to commit every week magkano yung revenue. Kung hindi mo nahihit yung target mo,
one-on-ones ka agad sa boss.
pwede ka ng performance improvement plan in the next 6 months. Now, if you hit your targets naman, they make it higher and higher.
Yes.
Oo.
Yeah.
So, it's fun, but it's very stressful.
High pressure. Yes. When you did that sa Philippines, ano yung pagpunta mo dito? How did you apply that to did you start yung
Hindi. So ayun nga, sa IT ako, and then we, as a family, we decided to go to New Zealand.
Okay.
So, New Zealand, but we were just trying it out. So, okay ba? Hindi. So, visitor lang muna. And then we tried to, magkakatrabaho ba tayo dito? And I got a job. So, I did it. Kasi nga, maganda na yung record ko. And nandun yung brands eh. Diba, IBM, yung mga ganyan. I came from, and I didn't go. Hindi naman. Pero na-handle ko yung mga products. Yung mga products na na-handle ko. But the last job that I had was in Cisco. So, it's a big company. So, pag nakikita nila yung brands na yun, they're like, okay. Kasi mahirap pumasok sa mga kumpanya na yun eh. So, I found this recruitment agent na she saw my profile. And, syempre, alam mo yung kapag nasa ibang bansa ka, medyo insecure ka eh.
Yes. Yeah.
Di ba? Parang, di ba? Parang, pwede ba akong ganun na posisyon? O hindi, kahit yung maliit lang na posisyon, di ba?
Yes.
Makapasok lang ako.
Yeah. Just get into the industry.
Correct. Kahit nasa mga IT shops lang na, okay na yun. But they always tell me that you're overqualified. And I feel sad kasi, siyempre, pag baguhan ka, gusto mo magkasweldo na. Hindi naman kailangan yung posisyon ka agad. But this lady said that, no, you have all the brands, in your profile. I will sell you. Iba yun eh. Iba kasi iba yung naghahanap ka ng trabaho kasi may vacancy ka sa interview. Iba yung merong nagpo-push para sa'yo.
Yes, yes.
So because she's a recruitment agent, she has all the contacts in the industry. So talagang sinabi niya, ito, kung fit ka dito. You don't go for this, you go for this. So,
it helps kasi may nag-advise na being new sa country. It helps a lot kung meron ng someone na yun nga, parang, gawin mo to. Ito, hindi normal yan. So,
correct. And the very important part are the connections to these companies, So, nakuha niya ako ng trabaho na madaling panahon, ang daming interviews in different companies.
Ano yung yung while nasa tourist kayo at that time? Or
nasa tourist pa kami.
Okay.
Tourist pa kami nun. And she still, kasi nga, of course, you cannot work on a visitor visa, right? Yeah, you can find a job, but they have to then sponsor you.
Yes.
So, talagang nakakuha siya ng sponsor.
At that time, how long yung tourist, duration nyo?
So, 3 months lang natin.
Okay. So, yung tourist nyo, with the intention na maghanap din talaga ng job?
Well, we were just trying first. Like, okay, ano ba, do we stay or not? But then, ayun nga, we found opportunities. At that time, kasi 2005 eh. So, medyo okay pa. Hindi siguro na as competitive na.
At hindi ganun ka-strict yung...
Oo. So, pareho kami. At that time, my ex-husband was looking for a job na artist siya eh. So, graphics designer din. Nakakuha rin siya ng job. And then, I couldn't remember. I think it was me who was sponsored. Ako. Na-sponsor na ako as an ICT Business Development Manager.
Sa Manila agad?
Oo, tapos may kotse ka agad. Alam mo yung pakotse ng kumpanya. Yeah, it was fun. Tapos dahil may work visa na siya. So he was able to work. And then after a year, pwede na mag-apply ng permanent residency.
Ganda tayo mo.
Oo, mabilis eh, sa New Zealand eh.
Okay.
At that time. So, ayun. So, dun ako. And, syempre, IT pa rin. Kaya yan ang bumubuhay sa akin. Yan ang career ko. But then, 2009, yung global financial crisis, I lost my job. Right? And, when I apply, syempre, medyo okay naman yung position ko. Lahat ng binibigay sa akin ng position, mas mababa na. And to me, okay lang naman na mas mababa. However, yung nakita mo yung, alam mo yun, kapag ka may CV, yung progression nandyan. Tapos, kapag ka biglang bumaba ka na naman, doon ka na naman. Alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Oo.
Meron ka ng in a way standard.
Oo, hindi naman ako nagyayabang na kailangan nandoon. It's just that, ano bang effect nito sa mga next jobs ko? You know, I'm just trying to be strategic.
Yes.
So hindi ko tinatanggap. And I just thought, siguro, okay, I'll just study. So nag-aral ako. Nag-Masters of International Business ako. That time. Kasi,
Sa New Zealand?
Sa New Zealand. Oo, aral ako. Tapos, I've set up some businesses then because of my international business course. And then, I was working, nag-volunteer worker ako ng English teacher for migrants. Kasi may panahon ako eh. Right? And doon ko na talaga na-realize na how different it is when you're doing something that helps someone.
Yeah.
Yung meaning, right? As a marketer, as a salesperson, ano bang meaning ng trabaho ko? Diba? Siyempre makabenta sa kumpanya. Pero maybe I've helped some companies, you know. Pero iba yung meaning ng, ito kasi migrants, ito mga Chinese migrants, mga local.
Okay.
Yung mga, turuan mo sila mag-order ng kape. Yung mga cappuccino, please. Yung mga ganyan.
Mga one-liner.
Oo, mga ganyan.
Mga day-to-day na.
And, you know, Chinese. And at that time, I was studying Masters of International Business. Kalahati ng klase ko, mga Chinese.
Okay.
I was learning Chinese that time. I can't even write Chinese at that time. Oo, so sila lola, akala nila. They're happy when I talk to them in Chinese. But I'm trying to help them learn English. But yeah, so yun na-feel ko yung meaning na gano'n. And made me think, ano pa bang pwede kong gawin to help the migrants? Kasi migrant din ako eh.
Yes.
Ayun yun. Nandun sa isip ko kasi may mga mamimit ka na niloko ng agent, nagbenta ng farm, tapos wala naman pala, yung mga gano'n.
Yeah. Bakit nag-commit na mismo
Correct. So nakakasama ng loob na minsan pa ang nanloloko kapwa Pinoy, di ba? So nandun na yun sa isip ko na baka pwedeng maging immigration lawyer or migration agent ako. Palagi nandoon sa isip ko. Doon na lang na-feel ko na, doon na as a volunteer work, ito yung meaning. Yung meaningful work. So, in New Zealand, I wanted to do that. Pero kasi nga, it was difficult for me. Kasi, yun nga, nawala ng trabaho, naging single mom ako. Alam mo yun, paano ko gagawin ito lahat? So, hindi ko nagawa doon. But when I entered into a new relationship, ito ng asawa ko ngayon, lumipat kami dito sa Melbourne in 2011. Nauna siya kasi nagma-masters pa nga ako noon. And then when we came here, sabi ko, gusto ko na gawin. Pero syempre, kakadating mo lang. So, ang trabaho ko ulit, ganun pa rin. Di ba? Yung brand manager.
Kumbaga, pinafamiliarize mo pa lang yung sarili mo.
Correct. Sabi ka sa mas madali mo pakuha ang trabaho. So, for a year or two, I was working in the industry pa rin. But on the second year, nag-aaral na ako ng immigration law. So, yun ang hirap nun kasi weekends yung klase. Talagang wala akong holiday. Kaya pag may holiday, magsese ako yung holiday.
Appreciate it.
Kasi wala akong pasok sa office, tapos wala akong pasok sa work. Sa pag-aaral. So, ayun. Pero natapos ko, it was difficult a bit kasi syempre hindi naman ang background ko marketing, hindi naman law. And I have to Diba? Kailangan malaman, interpret mo yung immigration law. Ang pagkakasulat ng migration law, hindi naman ganun kaayos.
Yeah.
Right?
Tsaka it's different languages po.
Yes, iba yung pagkakalagay, tapos hindi siya yung isang nakalagay lang. Ang dami mong hahanapin kung saan nakakonekta yun. Sinabi nito gano'n, ang dami mong bubuksan. So it was okay. I think the most difficult part of the course was ito na yung mga cancellations. Yan, refusals, anong gagawin mo? Yung mga, anong time frames niyan? Ayun, yun yung pinakamahirap na test ko. And I think I had to retake it.
Yeah.
Kasi, una, hindi ako pasa. Tapos, ulit-ulit. Pero, okay naman. Hanggang ngayon, mas mahirap maging migration agent din yun. So, the barrier has become higher.
Yep.
Kasi sa amin, may exam ko. But then, ngayon, the last few years, talagang parang board exam. Parang gano'n na.
Okay.
Yung exam na, hindi, kasi exam ko noon, parang hindi gano'n yung structure. Na ngayon, parang ang passing rate na lang mga maybe 50%. Hindi na lesson. Maraming hindi na.
Mas mga, yeah.
Mahirap.
So, yun yung tawag doon, dito nyo na inano yun? Yung natapos
Dito na, sa Victoria University ako, immigration law. At that time, mura pa. 10,000 yata. For 6 months.
Yung
course, full-time kasi 6 months, pwede kang 1 year. Ngayon, based on some people who have recently taken it, 25,000 na.
Tumaas na nga din. Sabayan mo. Yung so, nung natapos nyo yung course na yun, gaano nyo, na-start nyo ba agad yung business nyo na?
So, syempre nga, I was earning, di ba, nasa marketing pa rin, okay, sweldo. And the intent was initially to have it as a part-time job. Di ba? Kasi bakit ko ililagro yung sweldo ko? Right? However, naisip ko lang, dahil ang law ng immigration changes all the time. So I was like, kakayanin ko ba na nag-full-time work ako at part-time lang akong migration agent? Alam ko pa rin ba yung law? Alam mo yun, parang, paano pag nagbago? Paano pag nagkamali ako? Lisensya ko yung mawawala na. Right? So, and also, at that point in time, syempre, yun na nga, may bago na akong asawa, and we're trying to have a child. Eh, syempre, medyo matanda na ako rin nun. Mahirap na mag-anak. And naturally. So we went through IVF, and that was so difficult na may full-time job ka.
And started business as well.
Yung stress, ang hirap. So we made a conscious effort, decision, that sabi ko, ayoko talaga na wala akong sweldo. Kasi di ba, malaki akong breadwinner. Tapos, ayun lang, sabi ko lang na hindi pwede na hindi ako full-time dito sa business na to. Diba? Kasi nga, yun nga, maraming changes. And also, we're trying to have a baby. So, kailangan ko rin mag-relax. Kaya hindi tayo magkakaroon ng baby dahil stress ako. Diba? As sales and market, kung saan pupunta ang state.
Yeah.
So, tapos nag-IVF ako. So, hindi talaga nag-effect. Kasi stress na hormones. Alam ko doon, yung galit ako sa mata, yung mga ganyan. So, ang hirap ko sa nalaman. Ang hirap. May point in time pa nga yung assistant ko, yung someone reporting to me. Pagka yung cycle, kasi ang dami injection nun eh. Talaga, talaga yung aking utak at saka emotions. So talagang determine ko na kung sino yung mga taong nagsistress sa akin.
Cancel lang ganyan.
And I was like, if they call me, you talk to them. I don't want to talk to them. So, ganon. Kaya ayun. So, sabi mo na, very supportive naman kasi yung asawa ko. Sabi niya. Sabi ko, ayoko nito kasi aasa ko sa'yo. Di ba? Ayoko nun eh. Pero sabi naman niya, no, let's just do this together. Sabi niya, isipin mo na lang na ayun ang retirement plan natin. Di ba? Na, you know, do what you need to do. Ayun.
And I think it's different as well. Like yun nga, pag ba, na parang competent kayo dun, na-reach nyo yung trabaho nyo na very competent kayo dun for what you do. Pero nandun pa rin yung stress na tawag doon, na may boss ka and you have to meet yung kanilang KPIs na i-impose sa'yo. Whereas, yun nga, you made yung conscious decision yun na parang, okay, we're gonna start our own. We're still gonna have yung stress. Pero, at least control natin yung ating ano. At kung tayo yung boss natin, hindi tayo nag-answer for anyone. And I think ayun yung mahirap na transition na kasi yung bills keep going yan. Then how would you, hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na, mag-quit na ako ngayon, mag-start ako ng business bukas, mapapalit ko na yung income ko.
Hindi.
Kasi, no, it takes time para magkaroon ng transactions. And then, yun nga, ginawa nyo siya part-time. And then slowly, nandun na kayo, nagta-transition na kayo doon sa may, okay, this is enough to pay yung aking, to replace yung aking existing income. And then yan, slowly kayong nag-drop ng hours na sa work, and then magpo-focus dito, and then nandun na yung jump na So, paano nyo po na-balance yung ganon na, okay, this is it, I'm getting busy enough para ma-sustain ko yung ko.
In fact, hindi talaga siya ganun. Hindi ako nag-part-time naman. Talagang,
jump agad.
Okay. Oo, kasi nga, yun nga yung pinag-usapan na, mawawala. Biglang wala ako. Diba? So, kaya nga, sabi niya, okay lang daw. Kasi, he's also earning much and we can cover everything sa salary naman niya. Pero sayang kasi.
Paano yung
Sweldo ko
Did you do any marketing before?
Hindi. So, ganito kasi nga, hindi lang basta yung negosyo pati yung magkaroon ng anak
Yes.
Diba? And which that's more important than the business
Of course.
Kaya we accepted it like that. Mahirap kasi nga, hindi, kasi at that time, yung trabaho kong nakuha dito is a maternity leave cover. Alam kong mag-i-end.
Okay.
Right? So it's just a 1-year maternity leave cover, but my boss wanted me to extend. So, in-extend up to a certain point in time. And, nag-reach na ng point na, okay, ito na. So, mag-i-end na. But because in the industry, meron din mga pwede pa akong puntahan. Ang ganda ng maternity leave cover. kasi mas malaki syempre yung bayad. And it will end. So they know that a month or 2 months before, you can already apply for a job. And you say, I'm on leave today, I have an interview.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Oo, maganda. At saka lahat ng contacts nung pinalitan mo, sa'yo na kagad. Office niya, sa'yo, di ba?
Nung in-start niyo yung business, how long did it take you para maging consistent dun sa may
Hindi ka agad. Kasi nga, yung umpisa was for me to have a baby. Diba? So, hindi siya full blast o mag-marketing ako. Hindi I remembered it. Talaga ang baba lang ng revenue if parang $30,000 na, malaki na yun Maybe $15,000
enough na siya para sa part-time month.
Hindi, pangbayad lang ng lisensya ko yun. Tsaka training. Diba?
Mas break-even.
Correct. So, halos wala talaga yung sweldo ko dati. Pero nagkaanak ako.
Yeah.
Right? Oo. So, yun yung transition namin. Tapos, slowly, kasi syempre, 3 months yung anak ko, wala namang mag-alala. Wala yan, di ba? So, mag-daycare.
Yeah.
Yung asawa ko, very traditional, na, mag-daycare. Daycare yung babae. Hindi naman domesticated. I've never been. So, sabi ko, parang ayaw niya na ipapa-alaga sa iba. Tapos 3 months old. Iiwan. Ganun. Sabi ko, wala akong choice. We set up a business. I have to work for it. So yun, okay naman natanggapin niya. And slowly, so I started with syempre, from the IT industry ako. Ito yung mga IT kong mga friends, mga programmer, ganyan. And I started with, hindi mo na ako nagpapabayad sa consultation. Kasi, di ba, free. Kasi, for me, I need to learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
Right? Na, okay, sige, CV, ito ang alam ko sa law, ganito, ganyan, ito yung advice ko sa'yo. But then, it came to, siyempre, ang dami ko rin ginagawa, di ba? Ang dami nagpapakonsult. Because it's free, they won't take you seriously.
Yes.
Di ba?
Yeah.
Or sige, they might take you seriously and they will do it themselves. At the end of the day, wala ka rin revenue.
Wala, exactly. Yes.
Oo, na parang ganun, parang araw-araw ganun. And I was like, oh yes, I'm learning from it. Pero I need revenue then. And I came to a realization that, bakit ba ako nagagawa ng libre? Kung libre, natututo ako. Hindi alagaan mo lang yung anak ko.
Exactly.
Diba? Bakit pa? So, slowly, we've charged na sa consultation. Kasi, ayun nga, I've tried to, I had this collaboration with a nursing school. You know, it's a school whereby you go there so you can get your RN registration for Australia. Ganyan. So, bridging program pala ako nun. So, magkaka-license pa lang ako nun, I dealt with them na parang, magkakalisensya ako, baka pwede ako gumawa, ganyan. Hindi ako kaagad nakapasok because they have their own lawyer there. But then, what happened was, sabi ng CEO, which has been a good friend of mine now, sabi niya, basta yung mga corporate stuff, may lawyer kami. Corporate stuff, yung volume
Of
stuff.
course.
Oo.
Yeah.
Okay. Individual sa'yo. So, in a class, merong isang na-late dun sa lawyer nila. So, hindi siya, parang mag-expire na visa niya. 2 weeks pa daw, baka bago available lawyer. Di ba, ang hirap naman ng availability. Busy talaga. So, kinuha ko siya. Sabi ko, sige, ako gagawa. Para sa'yo. I didn't even charge initially. Kasi parang, first client ko eh.
Tsaka, investment yun eh.
Yes. So, what happened then, in that class of many nurses, dahil siya lang ang kliyente, kusap siya palagi. May update pa palagi. Nandiyan nakaagad yung bridging visa.
Basta another baby mo yun.
Correct. Nandiyan. So, medyo jealous yung mga, ba't hindi kami tinatratong ganyan? Bakit ganyan? Bakit sa kanya meron? Bakit kami wala pa rin? So, what happened was,
ng agencies nila?
yung lawyer nung,
lawyer.
sinabi nung, nagre-reklamo na sila sa eskwelahan. Dapat kami, kay Johanna kami. Ganyan. So, yung mga next batch, sa akin na lahat.
Service talaga.
Service talaga. And yun talaga yung mga first clients ko. And I've seen their growth. I've seen how they settled. Yung first ko na yun, estudyante, di ba? Tapos, nagkaroon ng training visa, work visa, permanent residency visa, citizenship, kinasal siya, lahat ng visitor visa ako. Nanganak siya, ninang ako, ninang siya. Yung gano'n. Hanggang ngayon, nakikita kami. Kasi, yun nga, minsan tatawag na, naging head na siya ng facility, o baka may kakilala kang nurse. Ngayon, may sarili na silang community doon sa Warrnambool, puro mga nurses and So, I visit them sometimes. I have dinner with them. Kasi that's how I deal with that. I guess, I'm not sure if that's a key difference, but I never treat anyone like just as a number. Lalo na yung mga umpisa kasi sila talaga yung kasama ko. Ngayon it's difficult kasi nga ang dami-dami ng kliyente. Ang dami-dami ko na rin staff. Right. But I still connect with them through events. Yan, mag-12th anniversary ng Bridgeoffs. We usually have in a bar or in a disco. Basta magsama-sama lang lahat. Or sometimes, nagkakaroon ako ng Thanksgiving dinner ng financial year. Na alam ko, I made it in the financial year. So mag-dinner kami somewhere. And the objective is really, paano makita ko sila ulit? Gusto ko silang makita. Ano na nangyayari sa buhay nila.
Just an update. Kasi syempre, and tama kasi yung switch nyo from marketing sa big tech to having yung service-based na business na in-person talaga yung sa customer nyo. I think it makes a lot difference. Saka impact din sa sa business owner, di ba? Na yun nga, na yung client nagiging friend nyo na.
Like, some people, some had commented that you don't have dinners with your clients. You don't have. Diba? Kasi yung professional, diba? Sa akin, I can be professional kasi may mga ginagawa tayo. Right? Di ba kailangan? If we have to follow it. Pero pwede namang maging kaibigan kayo na may boundaries pa rin.
But definitely.
Right? So sa akin naman, gusto ko lang makita yung growth nila. Gusto ko makita pa rin sila. At saka, gusto ko, makikita rin nila ibang kliyente para magiging magkaibigan sila. Kasi mga nagkakaroon ng mga, third anniversary, fifth. Alam na nila na October yun. So, minsan sabay-sabay na sila magkakasama. Iba doon na sila nagkaasawa. May mga gano'n. So, it makes me happy
Yes.
na it's becoming a community. Yeah.
Yeah, yung ano. Sa mga kababayan natin na I'm sure recently, tawag doon, aware kayo na ang dami nare-reject na student visa, mga nag-a-apply from offshore. Meron pa bang pathway yung mga student na nandito na in 2025?
So, it would depend on the profile of each applicant, right? So, sometimes, naka-student visa yan. Kasi yun yung in-advise sa kanila. Right?
Yes.
Di naman, syempre, mas maraming education agents who are there to enroll people and to apply for a student visa for them. Without even looking at the chance of getting a permanent residency or other visas. So marami dyan na visitor visa, pero baka may chance ng permanent residency through the general skill migration stream. So, ano yun? Nasa listahan ba sila? Di ba? Na skills list. May points ba sila? Yung migration points based on age, based on education, based on work experience. Tapos, ano pa ba? So, may mga steps yun. So, i-check lang, nandun ba sila, yung age nila, points nila, maybe they can. However, ang permanent residency under the general skill migration stream, yung mga 189 visa, 190, 491, hindi siya kasi yung visa na, unlike student visa, you apply for it. Nag-a-apply ka. Ito, bago ka mag-apply, you have to be invited.
Okay.
Hindi siya yung, eligible ako, nasa listahan ako. Kasi yun ang common.
Yes. Yeah.
Kasi they will research.
Matik mo yung checklist, you're good to apply.
Yeah, so they will, yung mga nagdi-DIY, yun ang tingin nila na minsan kasi magpapakonsult. Ay, alam ko na eh. Alam mo, eligible ako, i-apply mo na ako. Ganyan. Hindi, may steps. And mahirap kasi ngayon mag-permanent residency visa ng yung mga 189, 190. Kasi nga, depende sa points mo. 189 is pataasan ng points. Diba? For example, kung I just checked yesterday, university lecturer, nung last year, November 7, based on the report, na-invite sila at 95 points. O paano ka magkaka-95 points? Ang age mo 30 points kung nasa 25 to 32 ka. Diba? Kalahati na yan. But ng 60, almost. Tapos yung education mo, which is 15 points kung bachelor's, English level mo. So, mahirap kunin yung 95. Mataas. And then yung 190 naman is state sponsorship o 491. Depende sa rule ng states. So, may listahan tayo ng skills list, pero ang mga states, pwedeng may listahan din sila. Pwedeng the same or pwedeng a part of that. And then may iba pa silang requirements. And then may sariling invitation din yun. Pero pagka na-invite ka or nakapasa ka sa kanila, na-approve ka, may plus 5 points ka. Or 190. 491 is plus 15 points. So, yun, pwede yun kung papasa sila doon. Pwede rin kung makakatapos sila below 36, yung mga graduate visa, ganyan.
Easy pa rin po ba na, is it still an option na yung mag-sponsor yung mga workplace dito?
Ayun din. So, work visa, pwede rin. But then again, first step again, are you in the list? Hindi pwede na, yung kaibigan ko may tindahan eh. Or, meron silang office eh. Work ako doon as admin. Nasa listahan mo yun. So, every visa, mayroong checklist, mayroong skilled occupation list.
Sa mga talagang, kasi ang daming, yun nga, di ba na they were advised yung tourist ka, mag-apply ka ng chef mainly, and then maghanap ka ng sponsorship mo. The problem with that, ang napapansin ko ngayon is, ang dami nang nag-a-apply for the same position at very limited yung nag-sponsor.
Yes.
So, is there a way for them para mag-switch ng career na kung qualified sila, for example, sa Pilipinas, na nurse pala sila sa Pilipinas, nag-chef dito, Is that still an option for them?
So, for any visas, right? Kung qualified ba sila, it would be based on their qualification.
Okay.
Ano bang natapos mo? Ano bang work experience mo? So, with your example, nurse pala sa Philippines, tas nag-chef. Sometimes it's really hard to do that kasi paano ka ma-aprobahan ng student visa na magiging chef? Or paano ka makakatrabaho ng chef kung wala work experience? Kasi nga, work visa, for it to, requires you to have the required qualification. Or the alternative, di ba, kung may X years of work experience ka. Or the qualification, plus 1 year of work experience in the last 5 years. So, kasi yun ang unang titignan eh. Kung wala ka doon, hindi ka eligible. So when people come to me, marami yan, na magsusponsor, okay na, mag-sponsor na. Anong position? Kung ano mang meron. Right? So yung anong pwede doon, ano mang meron ka. Right? So, I always explain to them that, kasi excited yan kung may sponsor, right? Excited yung employer. So I would say that, come to me, let's do a consultation. I want to check kung anong position yan, ano ba yung qualification mo, mahigit mo ba yung mga criteria for it. Palaging, mamaya muna, ikaw muna, check ko muna.
Do you, like, kinakausap niyo pa rin po ba niyo din ba yung employer?
Yes.
To prep them na, okay, you are willing to sponsor, ito yung mga XYZ na kailangan mo gawin.
Yes, so after my consultation with the visa applicant, nakalagay ka doon kung eligible sila o hindi. And then the next step is, if your employer is really willing to sponsor, you have them book a consultation with me. Kasi, iba na naman yun. Ano ba yung criteria for the employer? Ano yung risks nila? Anong obligations nila? Anong costs nila? And I always tell them that may duty of confidentiality ha. So, hindi pwedeng nandun ka habang kausap ko sila.
Definitely.
Or vice versa. But sometimes they wanted that. And it's hard kasi, di ba, I can tell the employer, kasi may mga concerns ng employer, magsistay ba yun sa akin? Di ba yung sweldo niyan? Yung mga ganun. And kung silang dalawa nandun, right, sometimes they're open, but like one instance, nung in-interview ko yung visa applicant, di ba, of course, I will ask a little bit. Nagtatrabaho siya dun eh. May ganito sila, may ganyan. Oo. And then, they qualified siya. So, employer na. Pagdating sa employer, hindi. And I was like, hindi siya qualified. So, of course, I cannot tell them in that one frame,
Yes.
maghanap ka ng ibang employer.
Yeah.
I cannot say
Yeah.
that. Or I cannot, in one frame, kung hindi naman eligible yung isa, at talagang yung employer ang nagpunta sa akin una, I cannot tell you, maghanap ka ng ibang employee.
Kasi it makes sense. Kasi iba nga naman yung criteria na kailangan ng employer sa mag-a-apply. And sometimes, yun nga, it's either you take yung box or hindi.
Yes, and that's basically it in the legislation. And that's how case officers.
And I think a lot nung mga officers, mga employer ngayon, na they just promise na, sige, sponsor kita. And then you don't hear from them. Like, hangin lang sila. So I think it is a good way para malaman nung applicant kung serious talaga yung employer
Exactly.
nila. Na parang, okay, if you want to do that, let's book yung consultation. Para ma-progress natin yung yung tawag yan, yung pag-a-apply, hindi yung nagpapas lang and then pinapaasa yung mga siyempre yung time ng mga nandito, limited lang din.
Exactly.
Kasi whatever visa meron sila, it's either i-sponsoran mo ba ako o hindi. Kasi if not, then maghahanap ako ng ibang options ko. And I think it's maganda po yung yun.
Tama yung sinabi mo. Totoo talaga yan. May mga kliyente ako na pinalipat pa sa regional. Kasi nandun ang employer. With a promise that they will be sponsored bago mag-expire ang visa. Isang taon na doon, wala pa rin. Mag-expire na yung visa. Ay, hindi pala sa sponsoran. And sometimes they're with children.
Yeah.
Nakagaling sa eskwelahan dito, pupunta doon sa regional. Tapos, wala na. So, may katotohanan yung sinasabi mo. And realistically, it's really happening. Kaya, ingat din, di ba? And also, I also tell my clients that kung ang employer mo na hindi makapag ng consultation sa akin at hindi makabayad ng 165 na Zoom online call namin, you have to think about it. Kasi sometimes they're so excited that, ayoko ako na lang gagastos ng consultation. Yung ganon. In fact, I have yung mga serious ones who really need people. When they shortlist their employees, yung shortlisted ka na, tatawagan na ako. So, Hana, ito yung gusto kong empleyado. Bino ko na ng consult sa'yo. They pay for it. I want a report whether she is eligible or not.
See, that makes sense. Kasi, di ba, na yun nga, you know how serious yung Kasi, yun nga, may yung time mo, lumilipas. Kung hindi serious yung mo, and that's one way to find na serious nga sila. Kasi ang daming instances nga ako na gano'n, na yun nga, like you said, and it's a big commitment for yung someone na mag-move sa regional para only to find out na hindi pala. Worst is all in na sila sa may decision na yun. They might have sold something sa Pilipinas para makapondohan yung dito. And they were promised na is yung smooth na, mag-sponsor sa'yo, you just have to stay there kasi in demand. And then even if mag-research kayo online, ay hindi yung sinasabi na, regional, kailangan niya, maraming in-demand yung mga trabaho niya. Pero, iba pa din yung consultation mismo sa migration agent. And I think ayun yung breakdown nung information ngayon. Kasi before, yes, it works. Kasi yung Australia, napaka-loose pa sa regulations, tsaka yung numbers sa mga taong pumupunta rito.
Yes.
Whereas recently, we know, after netong isa siya sa main topic ng recent election na magre-reduce sila ng number. So I think ayun yung hindi ready yung mga tao na, okay, am I qualified? Am I not qualified?
Yes,
And if you, for what it's worth, do it habang may time pa. Hindi yung
malapit na mag-expire visa mo, or mag-45 ka na.
Oo, exactly.
Yung mga
Kasi yung iba, 5 years na dito, nag-extend lang sila, nag-extend ng
Right, yung mga 10 years na, student visa pa rin.
Oo, diba? It works until it doesn't.
Yes.
And then, back ka na ulit sa may square one mo.
Yes.
So, I think, it makes sense na yung consultation fee, it is worth it para ma-equip ka ng informations na tutulong sa'yo. Hindi yung based on nakikita mo lang sa internet.
I guess the listeners should know sino ba talaga yung source ng advice, right? Because sometimes, yun nga, akala nila kasi may office at marami na naparating, nag-a-advise, yun na yun, right? But they might just be selling education, di ba? Baka education agent lang. Or somebody can also pretend to be a lawyer or migration agent, but they are not.
Yes.
Right? Kasi ni-refer it. So may mga ways to check it. So may MARA website, OMARA, mara.gov.au. There's a register of migration agents. Kunyari, ako kausap mo, di ba? Hanapin mo doon na ito. Nalabas yung profile. Pati lahat ng record nun.
Yes.
Right? So,
Registered talaga.
Correct. So, minsan kasi, hindi, may lawyer daw sila, may lawyer. Pero you never talk to the lawyer. May migration agent daw naka-deal. But bawal sa amin yun we have to give advice directly. So pagka ginaganon ka na, hindi, assistant lang yung kausap ko. Pero yung advice, nanggagaling sa assistant, that's wrong. Like even with my staff, bawal sila nag-a-advise.
Yes.
Talagang magagalit ako. Kasi mawawalan kami lisensya, kami tatlo.
Yes.
Tatlo kami migration agents So, doon sila, kakausapin kayo to get the documents. Pero any advice kami talaga. So, the viewer should know that dapat registered migration agent sa Australia. Kasi illegal sa Australia ang mag-advise kung hindi ka registered migration agent or immigration lawyer. So, mara.gov.au doon hinahanap. Sa lawyers, depende sa state. So, dito ako sa Victorian Legal Services Board. VLSB, punta kayo doon, meron din register of lawyers. So, pag nagsasabi na, lawyer kausap mo, patingin naman ng pangalan, i-check ko lang. And huwag kayong mahiya. Marami nagagano din sa akin na hindi nila kasi ako kilala. Right? And they would ask, and I would give them, ito ako.
I think it makes sense kasi like you want to do yung due diligence mo
Yes.
before ka mag-engage ng professional. Kasi otherwise, then magkakaroon ka ng iba-ibang opinion sa iba-ibang tao. How would you know kung ano dun yung legit? Diba?
The problem is, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
Diba? So, hindi naman nila alam ano yung MARA, ano yung migration agent, ano yung, diba? Ano yun? So, kung hindi nila alam, they'll just believe whatever they have. So, kaya, yun ang pinaka-ano ko parang, I can't say it as much, I can't reach as much people. Alam mo yun? Kasi sa akin, okay lang, kahit hindi ako kumuha ng visa mo, kahit hindi mo ako bayaran, di ba? I mean, I'm not for the business. It's really about public service. Kasi, mga dumarating sa akin, kunyari na-refuse na, or hindi na naayos yung papel, may problema, doon pa lang nalaman hindi mo pala agent ito.
Yeah. So, ano na sila, committed na sila.
Correct, committed na, or nangyari na.
Oo. Even worse is, napaka-tight na ng time nila. Kasi,
Correct.
yeah, they're betting on yung ganun sa advice.
Mm-mm.
So, do you think na this recent, this past couple of months, meron bang increase na pupunta sa inyo na yun nga, na-decline or medyo rush na yung ano?
Oo, madami. Madami talaga. Kasi nga to si Department of Home Affairs. Minsan kasi kung ano-ano ng refusal nila Alam mo yun, minsan mali-mali yung refusal. So, maraming na-refuse, student visa or other visas. Talagang parang gusto lang nila mag-refuse na yun. Kahit wala sila sa tama. Problema dun kasi, pag nag-refuse sila kahit wala sila sa tama, anong options mo? So, there's this thing called vacate request. So, parang, sa kanila kasi, ang case officer, pag nag-desisyon ako, tapos na yan.
Next.
So, doon ka na sa tribunal. But in some cases, we are successful din, pero very rarely, na pwede bang pakipalitan ng decision mo? Please vacate your decision because this is the law. This is what you've done. This is what we've provided. We have satisfied this. Minsan, bumabalik as grant.
May ano din
Pero matagal kasi yung sagot. Kunyari, sabihin na, bakit gano'n? Hindi ganito ganyan. And then, please vacate. We request for you to vacate this. Tapos, ang tagal sumagot, kung nandito ka, 28 days lang bago ka mag-appeal. Kung hindi sila sasagot, mag-appeal ka na. Pag nag-appeal ka na, hindi na sila sasagot talaga. Right? So, may illegal ka na yung kliyente kung hindi ka mag-appeal. So, there's a growth of appeals. Right? I think the two reasons why I'm getting that. One is, talagang maraming refusals. Right? Kasi, nagkukuha ko lang yung mga appeals na yan ever since naging lawyer na rin ako. Siyempre, ayaw na nila sa agent. Di ba?
Yes.
Na parang gusto nila, tribunal na to Ganon, kailangan lawyer. So, yun, dumami yung mga kaso ng gano'n na pumupunta sa akin.
And I think it's good too kasi you cover yung early stage, which is yung sa may breach clause.
Yes.
At yung doon din sa may refusal. Kasi kadalasan yan, yun nga, na once na-apply at nagkaroon ng decision na na-decline yung then what's next? Ayun yung question.
Yun palagi ang tanong
Na,
nila.
is it worth
Uwi na ba ako?
exactly. Is it worth i-appeal? At least,
Yes.
merong case na parang, no, qualified ka, mali yung, ito yung law, mali yung decision. And then, may magkakaroon ng honest opinion to say na parang, it's worth doing kasi may chance ka.
Correct.
Or not, kasi X, Y, Z.
Yes. So, some cases talaga namang walang grounds. Right? Na talagang mali ka naman talaga. Di ba, kunyari, genuine temporary entrant, you're not genuine anymore. You've been staying here for 10 years. Totoo naman.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So, ano sasabihin mo dyan?
Student visa ka, 10 years, ano ba inaaral mo?
Correct. Palipat-lipat ka ng course, ganyan. So, pagka ganun, I'll be honest with them na wala pa masyadong chance, di ba? Ano ba to? But sometimes, syempre, hearing, it takes 1 to 3 years to get it. And if you appeal, kung may work rights ka, di ba, galing kang student visa, nag-student visa ulit, na-release, may work rights ka. And then, kahit wala kang grounds, they wanna stay. Yeah, appeal ko. Di ba? I mean,
Okay.
hindi ako, sila. Kasi I would give them the advice that
So, pag nag-appeal ka, makikip mo yung work
Bridging
rights
visa.
mo. So, automatically.
bridging visa man na may work rights. Kung may work rights.
Until
Mag-hearing.
hearing. Okay, so in a way, that extends yung stay.
Correct. Sometimes they use it as a way to stay, to work, and also, kunyari,
Buy them time para magkaroon ng options.
ng new visa.
Yeah.
Di ba? Baka may mag-sponsor.
Exactly.
But then, when you have a visa refusal, limited lang yung visas na ma-applyan mo. Hindi ka pwede mag-work visa. Di ba? Yung 482, ENS. Uwi ka para mag-lunch mo.
Pwede mo i-withdraw yung appeal mo.
Ayaw mo i-withdraw kasi gusto mo bumalik.
True.
Right? Yun yung visa mo eh. Kung offshore, lalabas ka to apply it and then you come back. Pero may mga visas na pwedeng apply. So, meron kaming student visa refusal, but then yung wife is eligible for PR. So, nagawa namin yung PR. Halos sabay yung tribunal lang hihingi na maghihiring na mailalodge na namin yung PR niya. Nakasama yung asawa na na-refuse yung visa. So, yeah, na-manage naman namin na ngayon PR na sila. Kahit may refusal. That's from a student visa refusal to a 190 visa. Pwede pa rin naman. Pwede pa
I
rin.
think that it is very important na you do have a lawyer na will advise you para from the start. Kasi ang ano dyan, isa-set up ka, you have to set it up from the start na maayos yung ano. Para if ever na may issue in the future, covered naman.
Exactly. Tama rin yan. Pero kasi nga, sometimes people think that kaya ka mag-DIY yan eh. Yung hindi ko ginawa yan, madali lang yan. Nandyan lahat eh.
Exactly.
Ang problema, pag di ba, if there are issues, minsan hindi mo na mabalik.
Exactly.
Yung chance mo.
Especially yung timeline. Timeline is yung ano dyan, yung factor dyan. Kasi pag pag na-decline ka, how long do you have? Discipline enough ka ba para talagang maging on top of it?
Yes.
And I think it's good to have yung someone na, okay, ito yung kailangan mong gawin, ito yung, na-cover natin to,
Yeah.
ito yung good side dito, or just maybe no, kasi you know, at usually naman, yung tao, alam din naman nila na they're just looking for the chance.
Yes,
Wala
yes,
namang
yes.
problema wala namang problema mag-ask ng chance. Pero kung it's just no, it is what it is.
Yes. Kaya nga sa akin, when we're doing, I really like it when they start afresh with us. Diba? Nandyan kami, simula-simula. Pero hindi mo maiiwasan, syempre. Meron na silang agent dati and stuff, and they come to us. Kaya pag pupunta sila, kanyari na lunch na yung visa. And I was like, ano magagawin ko dyan? Hindi sumasagot. Kung hindi lang sumasagot, di ba, hanapin mo yung agent mo. Hindi, parang hindi ko na tinatrust, ganito ganyan, parang hindi ginawa ito, ganito ganyan. Okay, then I have to check it. So, if I come in that application, dangerous yun sa akin eh. Di ba? Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari na dun eh.
Yes, yeah.
Pag nag-decision yun at kinuha ko yung accountability ko yun.
Yes.
So, that's why we charge the same for a new and one that's lodged. And
Actually, it should be more.
More, exactly.
It should be more. Kasi
Exactly.
sa ano yun ganyan sa real estate. Di ba, nag-build ka ng bahay.
Yes.
Halfway through yung builder nag-bankrupt.
Yes.
It is very hard to find another builder to
To continue that.
yung ano yun.
Yes.
There is, but you have to pay more.
Yes.
Kasi whatever yung liability nung nangyari na nung from 0 to 50,
Correct.
i-carry nila
They
yun.
carry mo.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't understand that. And I actually discourage them. Kasi parang, ayoko rin kasi ng accountability. Kung gusto mo i-check mo, magpa-consult ka sa akin. Ito yung ginagawa. Pwede mong i-FOI yan, Freedom of Information. Makikita mo yung buong application mo kung ang agent mo ayaw pakita sa'yo. Right? So makikita mo kung na-upload ba, ganito, tama ba, ganyan. So, yeah, I can teach them how to. Mas gusto ko yung gano'n. Pero minsan kasi talagang hindi ako marunong. Alam mo yun, gusto ko lang sana yung may tiwala na ako dun sa hahawak.
Yes, yeah. And it's, because otherwise, nagtatay kayo ng unnecessary risk sa inyo. Kasi, yun nga, na parang halfway through na yung application.
Yes.
So it is still possible na pag na-reject yung someone, na i-a-appeal
Yes.
depende lang, of course, case by
The grounds,
case.
yeah. Oh, yeah, of the appeal.
And that is something that you can help with.
Yeah, we've been doing that for people. Some of them, dahil sa sobrang ng tagal, nag-withdraw na, nakakahanap na ibang visa. Or sometimes,
Which is a good thing.
Which is,
Yeah.
sometimes kami rin yung hahanap. Na parang, okay, wala kang chance dito. Pero kung magiging nurse ka, ituloy mo yan. Di ba? Ang nurse naman yung asawa mo. Mag-register na siya. Ganyan. Kung pwede. Kasi, I really tell them kasi sometimes, visitor visa tas mag-student na refuse. O wala kang work rights Diba? So, kaya mo mabuhay dito. Kasi habang tumatagal yung tribunal appeal, you're proving na estudyante ka. O di mag-aaral ka.
And you should
Na wala kang work rights.
Exactly. You should have yung money para
Correct.
sa
Meron namang way to apply for work rights. Pero kasi, sinasabi mo sa student visa mo, may pera ka.
Yeah.
Sa living cost.
At gusto mo mag-aral.
Tapos mag-apply ka ng work rights. Sa work rights, you have to show na may financial hardship ka. Alam mo yun, yung
Yeah.
parang gusto mo talaga, o may effect kasi, di ba?
Nag-iiba yung intention mo.
Correct. So, yeah, pero maraming gano'n na nakasalang na nagbabayad ng time.
Yeah, I think that's a good strategy as well too. Kasi if yun nga na kung ang all-in ka at naghahanap ka ng sponsor mo, kung may option naman, then good. And I think maganda lang din is you just need to be careful doon sa may steps na kailangan mo gawin. And
Tsaka talagang gagawin mo.
yes.
Problema kasi sometimes, pagka na-save mo na, na-save mo na yung visa nila, o may kadugtong na, parang, ito na dapat, pinag-usapan, ito gagawin mo. Hindi, busy na naman yun sa work.
Wala sila.
Mag-expire na naman. Nagawa mo ba yung mga pinagawa ko? Hindi.
Pwede yan natin pag-yun.
Yes. Yung discipline talaga. Pero kasi may intindihan mo. They're trying to survive.
Definitely.
Right? So, syempre, kailangan mo nang kumain ka ng trabaho. Yung mga pinagagawa kong mag-IELTS ka, mag-skills assessment ka, hindi priority. But then, if you look at it, kailangan prioritize mo kung gusto mo yung long term.
Exactly. Otherwise, you're gonna have the same problem again.
Correct.
Yung sa Pilipinas, for someone who wants to come here, can they still get in contact with you para i-plan out yung pag-migrate nila dito?
Marami pa rin naman from the Philippines or from other countries, Filipino or other nationalities. They still do that via consultation. So, again, ganun lang, tatanungin, ano ba ang objective mo? Diba, ano gusto mo? Mag-PR dito, study lang. And then, kung ano yung sinabi nila, kunyari student lang, I will always check their eligibility for PR. Kasi yun talaga yung ultimate
Yes,
di ba?
yes.
But sometimes they don't see it.
Yeah.
They don't see it na,
And then never know, natalpan pala nila yung lifestyle dito. Yes.
Parang kasi sa akin,
changes,
sa akin, ang mahal ng pag-aaral. Di mag-aaral kapag na-PR ka.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then sometimes because most nakakausap nila, pinaka-aaral sila. Hindi nila naiisip yun, may bala siya, pwede pala yun. Oo, pwede. Lalo na kung ang laki ng chance mo, ba't ka mag-aaral?
Exactly. Tsaka yung iba din is, minsan yung pinag-aaralan nila, hindi nila masyadong time. More on, ayun yung pathway papunta rito. And which causes them na mag-switch ng course later on.
Yes.
Which is another spending na naman yun.
Correct.
Whereas,
time.
Exactly. And time too, exactly. And yun nga, na parang if you can sort out yung PR mo ngayon, then you can study whatever you want to study with the help ng government.
Correct.
Para
Subsidized.
exactly. Oo. Na yun nga, and then you can go back to that and while you still work kasi kadalasan hindi ka pa time restricted.
Exactly. You can just take units whenever you want. Hindi ka kailangan full-time, walang financial capacity, di ba? Walang show money, yung sinasabi nila. Yeah, so, yun talaga, pwede naman, but yun nga, kailangan, yung nag-a-advise sa kanila. Importante kasi yung first step
Yes.
Kailangan alam mo, kung hindi ka satisfied sa kausap, hanap ka pang iba. Kasi yung mga kausap ko, sinasabi naman nila, they're honest with me, pang-apat na kitang kausap pero at least naintindihan kita. Itong mga iba, pinaaral ako ng pinaaral.
Kasi yun puro half lang yung kanilang service kumbaga na, okay, skill kami na migration na, okay, alam mo to kasi ito yung in. Ang problema is, ikaw pa rin maghahanap ng sponsor mo. What happens kung hindi ka nakahanap? Diba? Kung ang intention mo from the first place is stay dito, then can they help you dun sa may, yung employer? And kung meron kang nakahanap ng employer kung sasabi, yes, mag-ano ko, may sponsor lang kita. How can you verify na serious nga talaga yun? And I think one way of verifying yung intention ng someone is through consultation.
Yes.
Para alam din nila na parang, okay, at least nagawa na nila yung first step. Kasi yung iba, they have the good intention.
Yes.
Pero when it becomes real, nandun na yung mga dapat nilang gawin, nagkakaroon na ng doubts na clouded na yung kanilang So, and then, if you have that someone na, okay, consultation, and then very keen pa rin sponsor ang then that's a good
Yes.
Meron ka ng direction, rather than nag-aantay ka lang sa someone na, sponsor ako.
Yes, parang lip service.
Exactly, and then, especially sa ganyan, it has to be on paper.
Yes. Meron nga akong employer na, kasi naman yun, very matulungin talaga siya. Gusto niya ang Pinoy. And, talagang pag may mag-asa ka niya, oo, sponsor palagi ganun. And I was like, pwede bang i-pre-qualify ko muna? Sige, mag-book sa'yo. Then after a while, syempre may mga risks And I will tell him, ito yung risk niyan ha. Pwede ma-refuse yan, gagastos ka ng 10,000, 12,000 dyan. Dahil ikaw magsa-sponsor, tuloy ka pa rin ba? Well, if she prevails. Kung tutuloy siya. Ganun talaga siya. Kasi lahat sasabihin ko, susponsoran ng ENS. Direct entry yan. PR yan. Pag na-PR yan, pwede kong alisan yan. Diba? Wala kang obligation sa kanila. Wala siyang obligation sa'yo. And sagot, if they want to leave, then they can leave. You know?
Right.
Ganun. May mga ganung mga employers that are, I really love working with. Kasi gusto talaga nila tumulong. At makita nila yung work ethics natin mga Pinoy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
When you say Pinoy, kahit sa bansa yan, ang work ethic natin talaga yung know tayo for our work ethic.
Yes. Na talagang we value the work and
And the thing is, yun nga po, I think, very important yung sinabi niyo na qualify them. Get the right foundation dun sa umpisa para it sets you up kung ano yung intention mo in the future.
And tama rin sinabi yung verification, right? It's like, you verify sino kausap mo, talaga bang tama yan? Kahit ako yung nag-advise, I give them links. Lagi ako may consultation notes. Kung anong pinag-usapan, nandiyan ang links. Kasi I don't expect them to understand everything that I say in that 1 hour session.
Yes.
Right? Marami pa yung ganyan. So lahat yun, hindi naman lahat, pero nandoon yung terms, nandiyan yung links. Because I want it. Kasi ang consultation notes ko span from 3 to 10 pages na-ensin mo kung ikaw, parang nasa-shopping ka pala, ano bang pwede sa akin? Ang daming pisa noon. Ang daming pag-usapan ng criterion 1, di ba?
Exactly.
So, kailangan ko ilista lahat yun. Kasi yung nagbabago pa.
And din yung lawyer side nyo yung nagtikikin na kailangan lahat
Kasi
documented
Kasi na-experience ko na minsan, kunyari, nagmamadali, may next consult, hindi ko na ilagay. Alam mo, kinakabahan talaga ako kasi parang, sabi ko ba sa kanya na kailangan niya umuwi pag mag-lunch? Di ba? Kasi may refusal siya
And it's a big thing.
Wala sa consultation notes. And I was like, sasabihin ko sa staff ko, can you just, pakischedule ulit without fee. And, kasi, hindi nasabi niyo po yan. Oo nga, kasi wala sa notes. I just want to make sure you know the risks.
And it is, big difference yun yung mga ganon. And I think, dun nagkikikin yung sa may pagiging lawyer side nyo.
Yung
as well
service. At saka siguro yung care.
Exactly.
Yung care sa akin.
Professionalism nyo.
Professional. At saka yung care mo talaga sa kanila. Na gusto mo, binabayaran ka niyan, gusto mo sila matulungan. Right? Na mangyari yung kailangan nila. Na gusto nila. Right?
So ano po yung advice nyo? For someone na yun nga dito, have yung clear intention kung ano yung gusto nilang gawin from day one. And then, tawag doon, pumasok sa industry na best suited sa kanila. At yung maghanap po ng, for example, how would you qualify them?
Hindi, sa una talaga, yun nga, mag-isip na sila. Unang-unang gusto ba Australia? Usually, alam naman gusto nila. Ano gusto gawin doon? Usually, mag-work. Right? Mag-work. Huwag ka basta lang, may nagka-hire, gano'n. Hindi. Talaga immigration lawyer or migration agent muna. Tingnan mo muna ano yung mga visa, ano ba yung criteria. Kasi, somebody might come to you, i-hire kita. Bayaran mo akong ganito. Ako bahala sa visa mo. Tama ba yun? So, pero tsaka huwag kang titigil hanggat hindi mo na-verify yung sinasabi ng tao. Verify kung sino kausap. Verify yung sinabi. Nandiyan naman sa website lahat. Right? Although minsan nahirap intindihin. Right? Seek second opinion kung hindi pa rin. Tsaka ka lang mag-go ahead. Kasi ang daming mga nanluloko talaga.
Yung sa may employer side, ano yung is there any other verifications na ma-advise nyo sa kanila?
Ano to pag gusto silang sponsoran? Oo. Yun nga. So, kung alam na nila na eligible naman sila, so legit, eligible sila, tapos gusto silang sponsoran. Siyempre, yung employment, di ba, yung kumpanya, business.gov.au, di ba, nakalista ba yan? Kumpanya na yun sa Australia? Yung mga ganon. Tapos, website nila, try mong tawagan, minsan kasi fake yung mga letterhead and stuff like that. Try mong tawagan kung sino man yun, di ba? Verify niya yung tao na yun, research niya kung sino yan. Tapos, syempre, may employment contract ka, kung talagang i-hire ka.
Okay. Yung mga existing employees na yun nga yung, chef sila ng local coffee shop.
Yeah.
At yung boss doon na type yung performance niya, sinabi, I want to sponsor you.
Yes.
So the best way would be to set a consultation with you.
If they don't have an agent yet or immigration lawyer, like me, I handle mga aged care facilities, restaurants. Ako na talaga yung lawyer doon. Ako na yung ano. So anyone who comes in na gustong magpa-sponsor, ibibigay sa akin. In the same way na yung restaurant na yun, meron ng agent, I can just advise the person ng eligibility. Pero sila na yun. Minsan magkaiba kami ng advice doon tsaka ako. And sometimes, it's a problem. Like, one instance, itong kliyente ko, pwede na siya mag-PR. ENS 186 na tayo. Yun na, may-revert na siya for that. Suddenly may agent pala, may lawyer yung employer. Sabi hindi na, 482 lang siya. Temporary visa. Alam mo yun, yung parang, bakit? Yung sabi mga ganun, sometimes I just drop stuff that, bigay mo yung legislation. Minsan kasi ayaw talaga. Or, hindi wala daw ako exemption. Hindi, may exempted ka. Hindi wala Ito bigay mo sa agent. Tapos minsan sasagot pa na, hindi ito applicable. Hindi yan. Itong item na to, sabihin mo, exempted ka. And sometimes sumusunod naman. Pero sometimes actually nasa sarili ko yun. Di ba?
At least you have someone na, yun na hindi yung puro yes ka lang. Na at least for example, parang, no, you are actually eligible kasi iba yung for this reason. And yun nga kasi kadalasan, yun nga, once na ma-decline ka na, lost ka na.
Correct.
Parang, what's next? Ano na yung mga po? Is it worth? Kasi makikita mo na lang doon, okay, how much yung appeal? Pag nag-appeal ka naman, can I actually do it myself?
Yes.
How confident you are to build yung case mo para i-appeal yung ano. And that's when, yun nga, na parang if ever na na-set up ng maayos, at least may someone magsasabi, yeah, it's worth doing.
Tsaka kung na-set up ng maayos, wala kang refusal.
Yeah, exactly.
Most of the time, depends na minsan na.
At clear
sakit sa ulo to si Department of Home Affairs.
Lalo na ngayon, 2025, ang dami nila nagkakat na lang sila ng numbers for the sake of cutting.
Kung ano rason ng refusal, okay ka lang ba?
Yun po, so maraming salamat. Closing na po tayo. At ganda na ating discussion actually.
Thank you.
Relax.
Relax lang. Ito lang.
Thank you po for your time again. At alam ko busy, napakaganda yung ating usapan ngayon. At if someone wants to reach out for your business, what is the best way to contact you?
Yeah, they can go to our website and lahat ng contact details at bridgeaus.com.au. Yan, sa migration side of things. I also have a law firm, more complex migration, mga magkukorte na, tribunal na handle pa rin ni Bridge Aus. Or may mga family law matters. Sa Dragon naman siya. Dragon Legal Services at www.dragonlegalservices.com.au. Ako rin.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Salamat ulit. Thank you.
Salamat.